At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Well, happy Friday to you. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Krueger. Yeah, the weekend is almost here, and I say that because, we still got to get through the workday here for today, but we do have, of course, some wet weather in the forecast I've been talking about, and as we take a look at the radar right now, we are seeing some of that rain, and most of it actually is over Humboldt County, and not necessarily over Del Norte County just yet, but I think that's going to be changing here in the next couple of hours. We're also seeing a little push through the north end of the valley around Redding down to Red Bluff. And we're seeing some very light snow flurries for some of the higher elevations, especially into Siskiyou County, but even to the east in eastern Shasta and Tehama counties, making their way into northern portions of Plumas and western Lassen County eventually as well. So this is all very light. This is nothing all that significant, and it looks like we are going to be looking at more, especially out towards the north coast, that is, here as we take you throughout the day. Let's take a look at your Krueger's Quickcast for your Friday, March 21st. Just a quick look at your forecast here for today so you can take a look at the forecast and then head on out the door and be ready for the day. This is what it looks like as you are heading out the door this morning at approximately 8 o'clock or so. You can see some of the showers that we are seeing, especially for the north end of the valley. Not as wet right now down to the south, out towards Chico, but that could change here in the next hour or so. Off and on showers here for parts of the higher elevations and for the coast as well. Looking at temperatures in the upper 40s right now for, looks like the valley, of course, and then of course temperatures are going to be in the mid 30s here for the higher elevations and mid to upper 40s for the coast. Let's take a look at your satellite image here. There's a very weak cold front that is approaching. It's going to clip Northern California. This is pretty standard. It's going to bring the bulk of the rain into the north coast, right? And then that's going to push eastward and bring everyone else a chance for some of the showers as well. Now, there is that big push of moisture heading into Northern California, and that's really the source for the clouds and the showers that we are seeing out there. So let's take a look at futurecast. You can see 8 o'clock this morning, pretty widespread. It could have spread as far south as places like Willows, Chico, and Oroville. This is all very light precipitation, by the way. And I say precipitation because it's also going to be light snow for the higher elevations. Taking you to around the midday, see how it kind of breaks up, where most of the rain will be in Del Norte County, northern Humboldt, northern Trinity, and western Siskiyou County. Elsewhere, there could be a passing sprinkle, a light shower. This could even include the valley through the afternoon today. But if you are out and about, for example, I want to go for an afternoon jog, I'm not concerned about it because even if I'm out running and I get a little sprinkle, it's not going to be a big deal. And you can see most of it's off to the west of the valley by 4 o'clock this afternoon. Trinity County, western Siskiyou, Del Norte, and Humboldt counties seeing the bulk of that rain and snow, mainly between 3,000 and 4,000 feet. By 10 o'clock tonight, still fairly dry, most of the rain in the same spots west of the valley. So here's a look at Mount Shasta Ski Park. Over the last 24 hours, you did get to see 4 inches of fresh new snow. Groomed and packed powder conditions out there. Conditions are clear for now, and I'd say even though we are seeing some snow on Highway 89 right now, I don't anticipate it to have a very big impact. Let's just put it that way. You can see we're going to pick up maybe another inch and a half. This is nothing significant even for the ski park, but as of right now, there are no chain requirements, despite the fact that we are starting to see some of that light snow out there. And again, we'll take a look at the radar to show you where most of that snow is. Mainly in Siskiyou County, and we're also seeing some of it in eastern Shasta and eastern Tehama County as well. So what does that look like for our roads right now? Well, let's take a look at Interstate 5, that is, near Dunsmuir and Mount Shasta, mainly wet roads, but look at Snowman Summit. If you look closely, you can see a few snowflakes out there, but as you can also see, it's having minimal impacts, if any, on those roadways. Taking a look at Hatchet Mountain, looks like we have some snowflakes out there at about 4,300 feet, although you take out to Highway 299 and 89 intersection known as the Four Corners. Doesn't look like we have any snow there, and it looks like the roads are clear on Cedar Pass at this point. So let's take a look at the forecast road conditions through the day today, 5 p.m. You can see not much going on there. Then going into tonight and into tomorrow morning, I think Cedar Pass is going to be an area that you're going to have to watch. And otherwise, there's not going to be much to be concerned about. So very minimal impacts, despite the fact that we are seeing some snow out there. Let's take a look at our temperatures for today. Temperatures are going to be the upper 50s to low 60s for the north end of the valley, and you head southward for places like Corning to the south, mainly in the mid 60s. For the higher elevations, I've got your 40s and even some 50s for your daytime highs, and looks like generally into the low to mid 50s here for the coast. Let's take a look at your forecast for tonight. And it looks like in the mid to upper 40s for the valley. We're looking at temperatures in the mid to upper 30s, higher elevations, and somewhere in the mid to upper 40s out towards the coast. All right, so let's take a look at your 7-day outlook. I'm going to start off here with the valley, and you got those morning showers. I think the best chances for showers for everyone in the valley will be this morning. We're already seeing it to the north end of the valley. There may be a passing shower this afternoon, but nothing to write home about. Mainly dry over the weekend, and you can see much warmer temperatures by Monday, Tuesday, and everyone also has a chance for some showers by next Wednesday and Thursday of next week. We'll get into that a little bit later in the deeper dive forecast, but we do have more showers for today on the coast in particular, even Trinity County seeing that, and by Saturday, still a chance for a few showers, especially for the coast and inland. Otherwise, Weaverville, you're mainly dry. Dry for the week, second half of the weekend, and warmer for early next week. Siskiyou, Modoc County, Eastern Mountains, I think your better chances for Alturas and even Susanville will be this morning. Through the afternoon, your chances are going to be slimmer, although I think we could even see some more scattered showers and a bit of a mix out towards Mount Shasta throughout the day today. Saturday, here's what I'll say about Saturday. Mainly dry, mostly cloudy skies. There could be some passing showers for especially the higher elevations and the coast. The valley, not so much. I think your chances are going to be very slim. Otherwise, you're completely dry by Sunday, warmer by Monday, Tuesday, cooler and possibly wetter for Wednesday, Thursday, and even into Friday of next week. Taking a look at Lake Oroville out there this morning, turning out to be a gorgeous start to the day. You can see some of the clouds we do have out there, mainly in the overcast skies here, but still fairly dry as you head south into Tehama and Glenn and Butte counties. There's a look at Main Street Chico on Highway 32. Can't really tell, but there are, of course, the overcast skies. This is a look at Highway 99 at Neal Road. Looks like traffic is flowing smoothly there, no big issues. And Highway 44 at Sundial Bridge Drive. There might be some light showers, and you may be dealing with your windshield wipers, maybe even your intermittent windshield wipers. It is not all that heavy. Hey, today is Friday. We've got our pet of the week, and this is coming in from Haven Humane Society. We are going to meet, isn't this appropriate for Coffee with Krueger? We are going to meet Latte this morning as your pet of the week. Hello everyone, I'm Mike Krueger from Weather NorCal. It is Pet of the Week. Oh, we've got Latte here. And of course, Katrina from Haven Humane Society. Oh, hi. You want to lick my face? Okay. Maybe a little later. That's something we should do privately, not in front of everybody else. So Latte here. Interesting story, right?
Yeah, so Latte is about 7 months old. She actually was adopted from us when she was a very little puppy, and unfortunately her owners did fall ill and they weren't able to care for her anymore, so that's how she ended up back here. But we know she lived with a ton of love. We also know that she's done really well with dogs and cats, and she lived around livestock as well.
Oh, livestock.
And she's just a really good age, I think, for a lot of homes because she's very trainable. She's very happy. We think she's like a pit lab mix. And she definitely has that very like labby, happy, wiggly personality. So she's definitely ready to find her new forever home.
I think so. And like you were saying, kind of that labby feel. Honestly, if you hadn't known the mother, you probably would have a hard time really picking out any kind of pit in here, right?
Yeah, no, we did have her mom who also was adopted from us, and her mom was like a really cute little brown pitty. So we're kind of surprised she turned out so labby looking. You never know what they're going to turn into.
Exactly. So some great puppy energy, like you say, only 7 months old right now. So this is really a great age for you to kind of take control and teach Latte a few things. I'm sure looks like you could probably learn a few things, but you're still cute and super awesome, and we love you. You're awesome. So if you're interested in Latte here or any other animals we have at Haven Humane Society, be sure to give the number on your screen a call, and they'll take care of you over here at Haven Humane Society. We're hoping to find you your second forever home. It'll be there. It'll be your forever home. We'll see you next week. So that was Latte. You know, Latte, like she was saying, the mother they know is a pit bull. They don't know who the father is. But based on looking at Latte, Latte doesn't have a whole lot of features that look like a pit bull. At first glance, looks like a chocolate lab, a beautiful chocolate lab as far as I'm concerned. Super cute, super awesome, has that young puppy energy as you'd expect, especially from a lab, right? And so I think this is really one of those animals, one of those dogs I don't think is going to be there for very long. So you may want to jump on the ball here and call Haven Humane Society and get Latte if you're interested, because I think you've got a really good kind of that perfect combination. Latte has kind of gone through some of those puppy years, which, listen, we all know that can be a lot of work, especially when they're super young. So Latte is kind of getting outside of those really young puppy years, but still has that puppy energy and still has that impressionable mind that you can train Latte properly to make sure that they can, of course, sit and house trained and the whole works, right? So yeah, check it out over at Haven Humane Society. They would be glad to hand over Latte over to you. Well, we didn't get a chance, and we didn't do this here, but I want to take a look at some of the cameras this is the camera that I've had. I love this camera. And what I love about this camera is the fact that I've only got one working camera. I had this vision when I started Weather NorCal. I was going to have this whole network of cameras, and I still have that vision, and I know that eventually that's going to happen. There is a company that I'm going to be working with hopefully soon to where I can have more cameras set up. But it's going to require some sponsorship in the works and getting some money to make that happen. But this is I put this up, actually, the owner of this Elk Country Resort, RV Resort, had her, I think it was her security guy, put the camera up. And beautiful shot here. A lot of times when the elk are out, you can check it out. You can also see the red schoolhouse that you see when you're driving through just north of Trinidad, and you can see that. And you can see right now that it is wet out there just north of Trinidad. And, that's to be expected here as we take a look at, the camera out there. This is looking out, and this is kind of interesting. I don't know if they know this or not, but this is looking out at, and this is in Crescent City in Harbor District. The camera is tilted. There was a big wind event that moved through, and it was offline for a while, and I think it may have moved the pole that the camera is on because there's a bit of a tilt here. So they may have to have someone come up here soon and fix that. But this also helps illustrate that we are seeing the wet conditions out there. And I'm going to take you back over to the Elk Country, because what I also want to do is show you here is what it looks like out at the ski park. Because, man, I tell you, and my son and I are excited because we're going to be going up on Sunday. This is going to be the first time he's going to be able to get up there without having to practice for alpine, without having to worry be in a competition, whether it's a race. He's just going to be able to go up for fun. So I'm really excited for him to be able to do that. He just had, yesterday he had a tooth extracted. It was a total, they had to put him out for it. So he's, it was definitely kind of a rough day for him yesterday. So I'm looking forward to getting him out at the ski park. I'm looking forward to getting out to the ski park on Sunday. And I plan on getting up there early, folks, because I have a feeling it's going to be busy both Saturday and Sunday, because look at the ski park right now. Look at all the snow. And it's snowing again up there this morning. Not very heavily, and it won't be the next couple of days. But it's absolutely gorgeous out there. So hey, I'm excited. I'm excited to get out there here for the second half. I mean, look at that. Look at all of that snow. And by the time we get into Sunday, by the way, it's going to be close to a bluebird day. It's going to be really nice. But yeah, look at that. You can see the snow is coming down out at the ski park. Once again, as I kind of wrap things up, this is kind of a good transition camera for me because I can kind of get things set up here for the show. Let's get you out there. We get ready for that. And we are going to get ready to take you into your deeper dive forecast. Coffee with Krueger, as you know, is made possible by Wind River Resort and Casino. At Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. Okay, so we take a look. We're going to start off with the radar here. And the radar is going to show, once we get to it, is it going to get to it? There we go. There's a look at the radar, and there was a look at my back here. I've got such a small studio. To get out of my chair, I have to kind of see if I can maybe do it, not see in the camera, but sometimes it's hard to do that. 10 by 10 room in here. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? I don't have this gigantic studio. One of these days, folks, as Weather NorCal grows, we'll have a big studio. It'll be the work. It'll be fun. But in the meantime, 10 by 10 studio. It's awesome. It still gets the job done. That's 100% for sure. All right, so here it is. So there's the wet weather for Redding down to Red Bluff. You see, it's still fairly dry in Corning, Chico, Willows, Oroville. However, if you look at the last image here, it shows signs of shifting a little bit to the south. So there's more coming in behind that. So as it does that, I think as we get in the next hour or so, we'll start to see places like Corning, Chico, Willows, Oroville, seeing the potential for some showers here in the next hour. We are starting to see that snow off in the eastern Shasta. This is very light. I mean, you saw the snowflakes coming down at the ski park. So that's the snow that we're seeing right there, but it's very light. And you saw that at the ski park, not even very heavy there. But we're seeing that main feed of moisture right now pointed at Humboldt County. Del Norte County right now, yeah, you're getting a little bit of rain out in Crescent City, but it's not very heavy. That will change, though, as we go later today. Right now, we're in the upper 40s for most of us in the valley. We're in the low to mid 30s for the higher elevations and mid to upper 40s right now for the coast. So here's what we have going into the weekend and next week. Cool and unsettled into Saturday. Yes, Saturday, not completely dry, especially for the coast. We'll get into that here in just a bit. Dry and warmer this weekend. Big warm up for Monday and Tuesday. Low to mid 80s for the valley at least. And then possible wet weather near the middle and latter part of next week, and cooler too. And I say possible because we are seeing a big discrepancy between the two long-range forecast models that we typically look at. And that's the American forecast model and the GFS. And the European forecast model. We'll see. All right, so let's take a look at this. Here's the cold front that's passing on through. It's having minimal impacts. We're really not seeing the winds pick up. It's a little breezy for you out in Crescent City, Del Norte County. But overall, very minimal impacts. This is the stream of moisture, the atmospheric river, if you will, that has been aimed at the Pacific Northwest, and the southern end of it, the southern edge of that atmospheric river, has also been impacting northwestern California, in particular northern Humboldt, Del Norte, and western Siskiyou County, and even parts of Trinity County too. That has shifted a little to the south, and that's why we're seeing it mainly over Humboldt County right now. But then I do expect it to shift back up to the north as high pressure settles in, and we'll see that get a little bit heavier out towards Del Norte County. So 8 o'clock this morning, there's some of the showers we could see for parts of the valley. All of this that you see here on your map right now is fairly light. Light precipitation in the form of rain, snow in the higher elevations, and even fairly light precipitation for the coast. That changes, though, by midday. We're starting to dry things out. There may be a passing sprinkle, a passing snow flurry in the higher elevations, but overall it's dry by midday, with the exception of the Trinity County, northern Trinity County in particular, western Siskiyou, Del Norte now getting the brunt of the rain again, and then northern Humboldt. Taking you into Friday this afternoon, okay, spreading southward again for Humboldt, Del Norte, you're seeing the bulk of the rain, as well as Trinity County, western Siskiyou. There also may be some showers east of the valley. Now, the valley may see a passing sprinkle or light shower even this afternoon, but not enough for you to cancel those outdoor plans. As I mentioned, I plan on going for an afternoon jog, and if I get a little bit of a sprinkle or a light shower, hey, actually, nice. I'm not too concerned about it. Then we are looking at the drier conditions to the north and east. Now, Friday night, tonight, into tomorrow morning, we're still seeing that moisture feed hitting the coast. That's why northern Humboldt, Del Norte County will still see some of that light rain at this point here for Saturday morning. Everyone else, fairly dry, but mostly cloudy skies. Mostly cloudy skies through the day on Saturday, but you see what's happening? A couple of pop-up sprinkles, light showers, especially in the mountains and for the north coast. Another last little push Saturday afternoon for Del Norte, northern Humboldt. Another last little chance for a passing shower. These are showing signs of maybe some heavier showers, maybe trying to pop up, but nothing significant. Most of it will be in the mountains. I don't anticipate much, if anything, for the valley through the day on Saturday. And then finally, we're getting that break. And this is a well-deserved break, folks. We're going to get to see more sunshine and warmer temperatures by Sunday, and that's a trend that will continue into early next week as well. Taking a look at the forecast rainfall totals, this is no big surprise. Most of it is to the north and west, anywhere from, say, 3/4 of an inch for the north coast to upwards of 1.5 inches. Again, I don't know what's happening here for Garberville. I don't know why it's showing 1.5 inches more than Del Norte, but I got to take a look at that. That's just some bunk information. Not sure what's going on there. But here we can see there's this drastic drop-off between where we're seeing that main flow of moisture, that heavy rainfall, down to about 1/4 of an inch for Trinity County. And then you're lucky if you get a few hundredths of an inch of rainfall for parts of the valley and even east of the valley too. And not only are we seeing minimal amounts of rainfall for many of us minus the coast, we're also seeing very light snow. You have to go up above 5,000-6,000 feet before you start getting into that 6 to 12 inch range. But below that, I mean, you'll be lucky if you even get a dusting of snow for places like Mount Shasta, or even Mount Shasta City, that is, or even Chester, for example, which is even a higher elevation. But no chain requirements this morning just yet, and I don't anticipate even the snow that we're seeing now to create any big issues. You can see as we go through even 10 o'clock tonight, I mean, this is looking through the day today into tonight. I'd say Cedar Pass may be an area that you may need to keep an eye out on, not only for tonight, but even for tomorrow morning. See around Cedar Pass. Some of those higher mountain passes above 5,000 feet in the eastern mountains, yeah, maybe keep an eye on that as well. But for the most part, I don't expect there to be any major issues or delays on the mountain highways. There's a look at the big ridge of high pressure for Sunday. This will be the big ridge of high pressure for your Monday and Tuesday of next week as well. I've got my eyes on this storm system. And I mentioned this a little bit earlier. We're looking at the American Forecast Model, the GFS. There is another forecast model that we look at known as the European Forecast Models. These are the two main forecasts. We look at a couple of others, these ensembles in the works, but for the most part, it's GFS and European. The European Forecast Model by Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening is taking this storm system and putting it directly over Northern California in the form of some decent rain. That lingers into your Thursday with more wet weather and possibly even into Friday. But take a look at the American Forecast Model. Number one, it's taking its own sweet time. Number two, you see that? Very minimal amounts. Looks like it gets a little bit more impressive by the time we do get into Thursday, but even into Friday, a chance for some showers too. But nothing significant. So really what it looks like at this point is cooler and unsettled starting Wednesday through the end of next week. Still up in the air as far as how heavy that rainfall will be starting Wednesday through Friday, but it's beginning to look more and more like that will at least be the case. Now the Climate Prediction Center is putting us in that category of wetter than normal conditions here. That doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to see a lot of rain. It's just basically saying, hey, listen, there is that chance for showers out there, drier down to our south and east. Taking a look at your lake levels, well, we actually finally saw a drop here for Lake Oroville. Of course, we're seeing them release from the spillway there. That might be part of the reason why, due to the fact we also didn't see any rain yesterday, at least in the valley. So that puts you with just a minor increase here over the last 24 hours for both Shasta Lake and Trinity Lake as well. But you look at the capacity and the historical averages, those are still very healthy. Now, temperature-wise, we're going to be warmer than normal as we go toward the end of this month and even into early April. However, take a look at this. Here's a look at your trend. We're still going to be below normal today, but getting back up closer to normal for this time of the year by tomorrow. Now, as we go into Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, the peak will be on Tuesday, and then we see another drop in our temperatures. So this is going to be one of those things where, yeah, it's beautiful, it's very nice, but these drops in the temperatures too by the end of the week is also that indication that we may start to see some of that wet weather move in by the end of next week as well. I want to show you the wave heights here because this is something you need to take note, especially if you need to be on a small boat, even on Saturday. Because you notice here, Saturday, not changing much from what we're seeing here for today. So if you notice, there's a small craft advisory for today. It's saying, the National Weather Service is saying through this evening. I'd be willing to guess that they will most likely extend that even into Saturday too. Because again, we're not seeing those waves drop a whole lot. There are your winds today out of the south at about 15 to 20 knots. All right, so here's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. Your temperatures are going to be right around 50, give or take, here for your daytime highs today. Of course, you saw where most of that rain is going to be here for today. 45 degrees for Forest Glen, 46 in Ruth, and high in Palm. A high today of about 49 degrees. Let's take you out to southern Humboldt County, where temperatures there will be in the low 50s, 51 degrees for Red Crest, 53 in Garberville, and Honeydew. A high of about 48 degrees. Out towards Ferndale, you're looking at about 53 degrees today. Hydesville about 51, and Rio Dell about 50. Take you up to the north, 52 degrees for Trinidad, 52 degrees for McKinleyville, and 53 for Willow Creek. Now here's what I love about these neighborhood forecasts. Well, you're not going to see this anywhere else, folks, is that we live in a vast, beautiful area. And a lot of us like to get out there and enjoy that vast, beautiful area. So you can, if you have plans over the weekend or the next day or so, you can watch this neighborhood forecast and get an idea of what your weather will be like when you go to that area. And if you live in any one of these areas, you get that nice, beautiful, personalized forecast along with that 7-day forecast that, again, you're not going to see anywhere else, folks, during your weather forecast. And that's one of the things I try to do here with Weather NorCal is really try to be as expansive and bring the forecast to as many people as we can, because a lot of you, say for example, you live in Scott Valley, you get ignored a lot, don't you? I don't do that for you here at Weather NorCal. I like to give everybody a little bit of that weather love. All right, let's take a look at that 47 degrees for McDowell. Do you ever see that on the forecast map here anywhere else? Probably not. Tennant, about 46. 48 degrees for Dunsmuir, and Mount Shasta City, about 47 degrees. Out toward Modoc County here, you've got temperatures in the mid to upper 40s. We do have those drier and warmer conditions here for your Sunday. And taking a look at your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast. Let's take a look at that Bernie 7-day, and you can see, I think we'll be looking at a potential for a mix. I think you're going to be a little bit too low for just snow. And then we're dry mainly on Saturday, and then Sunday, you're looking at some beautiful weather, 70s by Monday, Tuesday. Here's a look at Lake Elminor, Lassen Park. Around the lake, you're looking at temperatures in the mid to upper 40s, and for the park, you're in the mid to upper 30s for today. Take you to the south, Paradise, a high of 57. You'll be looking at a chance for some showers, especially this morning, and then by the afternoon, your chances will start to diminish. Here's your Valley neighborhood forecast, brought to you by Walgamith Painting. Your temperatures in the low to mid 60s. I do expect basically 63 for Corning, and then probably mid 60s heading southward, places like Biggs, Gridley, and Oroville. Let's take a look at your 7-day forecast. Starting off with Chico, and we do have those chances for showers, especially this morning, and then by the afternoon, the chances do diminish. We're looking at drier and warmer conditions, especially by the second half of the weekend. Low 80s by Monday, Tuesday, and a chance for some rain by next Wednesday and Thursday. We take you up to the north here with 52 degrees for Lakehead, 59 for Palo Cedro and Redding, and 60 for both Anderson and Cottonwood. All right, there's a look at your 7-day forecast for Redding. Better chances for rain will be this morning. By the afternoon, yeah, we may still see a passing shower this afternoon, but nothing to write home about. Saturday, mainly dry, maybe a passing sprinkle, but overall you're dry. Drier and warmer for Sunday, Monday, and look at that. We're talking low to mid 80s here for Monday and Tuesday of next week. And we got those temperatures dropping again going into Wednesday, Thursday, looking at another chance for some rain in the forecast. So that is going to do it for your forecast here. Let's see if anybody has anything going on here this weekend or any comments. Let's take a look at what some of you have to say this morning. And we have got Catherine Schmidt saying, good morning from the Castle area, 32 degrees and very gray skies. That is absolutely true, and I think you'll eventually even see some wet weather coming from those gray skies. We've also got Curtis Brown, one of our regulars here, saying Friday's here. Looking forward to the weekend. Start to pruning the vineyard. Oh, that's right. I think I remember you having that conversation before. You do have some grapes, and you also do some wine. So that's kind of fun here. We've got Tracy Sackett, another one of our regulars, saying good morning from MacArthur. Hope everyone has a great weekend. And we've got Krista, one of our regulars as well. Hopefully no deluge in the forecast today out at the Foothill track meet. Oh, the track meet. You know, my son was supposed to be in that track meet here for today, but since he had his tooth extracted yesterday, he has to refrain from any of that, major physical activity. So he's not going to be at the track meet. Kind of a bummer. He's been kind of working hard here, and he's been doing great too. But he went from, state championships for snowboarding, and then had to turn right around and start training for track. He's been doing really well. He's been working hard. I'm so proud of him. But yes, to answer your question, Aiden is competing this year, but not in this meet because he still has to recover. He's going to be going to school today, yeah, he's not, I guess, allowed. And that's why we're going to wait until Sunday before we take him out to the ski park so he can get some snowboarding in there as well. So we're really excited about that. Well, folks, that's going to do it for us for today. We are looking at the weekend coming up here. That is always an exciting time. We're going to leave you with a couple of cameras here and leave you with your weekend weather ready to happen. As you know, I have the weekends off. That's always nice. And I'm very grateful to have Chase Wilson, who will be in over the weekend, and he does the weekend weather for you 3 times a day at 6 a.m., noon, and 6 p.m. So be sure to check the latest forecast with him. I'll be back on Monday, not only with Coffee with Krueger, but your regular forecast as well. Have a great weekend, everyone, and we'll see you on Monday.